The first author I want to talk today about... Hi everybody, my name is Kelsey, and we're about to get very, very nerdy with authors that I really need to read. I wore a special I have no self-control today, shelf control specifically, and you can't even see it in the video. I wore it for almost nothing. So I got this idea actually from Ashley over at A Frolic Through Fiction. She did something similar to this a few months ago, where she talked about authors that she has like a lot of books from and she just really needs to read. And it got me thinking of my shelves and authors that like I've read one or two things from, and so I've collected all of their books and have not read them. So I've got, I don't remember actually how many I've got here, but I've got quite a few authors that I've collected a lot of their books, and I've read either one or two things. Usually it's one thing, and I just really need to read their books. Like, stop collecting them and read them, or read them and like I need to do something. Like, they need to get read and they're just not getting read. So I won't link them all down below like I usually do, just because each author has a lot of books, but I will list all of the authors down below as far as like their names, so that if you're curious about a specific author, you can go ahead and like search them online. But without further ado, let's dive in. So the first author I want to talk about today is Ben Alderson. I have 5 of his books, and he has 2 more out in print and 1 more coming out this year. And I have somehow not bought the 2 newest ones, but I'm actually surprised that I haven't. So the book that I have read by him is The Lord of Eternal Night. This is the first in his, I can't remember what this series is called, but this is the one that's coming out later this year. So I can't remember exactly what this is called, but they're all like mythology based. So this one is kind of like a Beauty and the Beast retelling a little bit. We follow our main characters, Marcus and Jack. And Jack is a boy that's born with power, and so he is sent to this bad guy, basically. Like, Marcus is thought of as like a demon almost, and someone is sacrificed to him every year, and this year it's Marcus, but he has power, and like his goal is to go in and kind of like kill this guy, but they end up falling for each other. And then the second one that comes out in this series is kind of a Hades and Persephone retelling, but between 2 men. So I've got that one. I do have the first in his Lost Mage series. I know that there are more are coming out, and this follows Maximus, who has magic, but I don't think he wants to have magic. And then I have the entire Draconi, I think is how you pronounce it, series. So we have Cloaked in Shadow, and then we have Poisoned in Light, and Found in Night. And this follows Zachary, who is like an elf, and it's like him kind of coming to terms with his powers that everyone thinks he has, and he feels like he doesn't. So, did I go through a big buying spree and buy everything because everything sounds good by him? Yes, I did. There, again, are 2 new books that have come out that are part of another series that I haven't gotten yet because I feel like I don't have room for them, but I really want to. But he's an indie published author who writes primarily LGBT fantasy, and so all of his books have a male protagonist, and they have a female-male relationship. So again, I've only read this one, and it was about vampires, and I liked a lot of it, except for some of the bloody stuff at the end, just because like me and vampires don't go along. But the fact that like his debut series is about elves makes me very excited, and also magic, and everything about him sounds good. Like, the second book in this series is a Hades and Persephone retelling, which is one of my favorite Greek myths to be retold. So I have collected a lot of his books and have not read very many. And by very many, I mean I've read 1. And I did enjoy it, but I keep not reading the rest of them. So I need to stop collecting these and read them. But they all sound so good. The next author duo, I will admit I made this list a little bit of a while ago, so like this one I've read more than I think I have, but that's Chrstinia Lauren. And I don't even have all of them up. I don't have her YA book here. But out of these, there are 3 in this list that I haven't read, but I'm convinced to read all of their stuff. They are an author-writing duo that writes rom-coms, and I'm obsessed with them. Everything that I've read by them I have enjoyed. I still I have so many, I can't even hold on to them. So the 3 that I own that I haven't read are these 3. So we've got The Soulmate Equation, which is the book that came out in 2021. It came out in paperback this year, which is why I've been holding off until I got the paperback. But it basically follows this single mom named Jessica, who is a data and statistic wizard, and she ends up joining this like dating app that uses statistics, and she ends up almost 100% matching with the owner. And so they kind of like use their relationship or kind of like their dating as a look, even the owner can do it. And I don't think she and him get along pretty well, but you know, romance. So of course they do. And then we also have Twice in a Blue Moon, which is I think a second chance romance, which are not my favorites, weirdly enough. When I read second chance romances, I enjoy them, but I don't pick them up if I'm being told they're second chance romances, which is kind of bizarre. We follow Sam and Tate, who fell for each other and kind of were like each other's first loves. So Tate is the long lost daughter of one of the world's biggest film stars, and Sam's the only person that she has told, and then it ends up coming out, and so she is convinced that Sam's kind of told the world and like broken her trust. And I think they meet many years later, and it's not that. So I think this one's going to be a little bit more, I wouldn't say heartbreaking, but like more emotional than just like a regular rom-com. And then I was just gifted A Beautiful Stranger by my friend Teresa for my birthday. This is the second in the Beautiful Bastards series, and I adored the first one, and this is just smutty goodness. So as of right now, I only have 3, but that's because I forced myself to stop buying them. Although now that I'm looking at my shelves, I only have 3, so really I could continue to buy them. But I'm going to try to be a good person. But I love their books, and I'm just convinced to read all of them. Next author that I really need to read and stop collecting is Tessonja Odette. Her books are absolutely beautiful. Now she, I think, maybe not self-publishes, but indie publishes, but she actually like creates all of her books. One series that she's got here is Entangled with Fae, and these are all set in the same kind of Fae world. They're all companion series, so they just happen to be set in the same place. You don't have to read them in any specific order, but they're all based on some sort of fairy tale. So we have Curse of the Wolf King, which is Beauty and the Beast. We have Heart of the Raven Prince, which is Cinderella, and we have Kiss of a Selkie, which is Little Mermaid, and she's coming out with a new one the end of this year, which I can't remember the title, but I'll put it here. It's something about poison, and that is a Snow White retelling. And then I also have her entire Fae Isle trilogy, and this is the complete series collection. Why did I buy it in one lump thing instead of just waited until she actually did individual beautiful editions? Because I'm an idiot. So this one is, I'm trying to think of, so it's To Carve a Fae Heart, To Wear a Fae Crown, and To Speak a Fae War. And this one was like marketed as if you like ACOTAR and things like that, you'd like this. So I love these. I've gotten them all from her Etsy. They're all signed. She has these beautiful editions as well as beautiful front hardcovers as well. Now, I haven't read this one because it's huge and I'm terrified to pick it up. But the only one that I've actually read is Curse of the Wolf King, which is the first in her Entangled with Fae series. And her books are just the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I just want to keep collecting all of the things, even if I don't know if I'm going to like the series or not. I have a problem with beautiful books, and she is a major, a major culprit for that. But I need to kind of stop collecting and start reading, because like, why do I have them if I'm not going to read them? Like, they're pretty, but I can't tell you if they're good or not. From what I've read, I do really enjoy her writing, so that actually worked out in my favor. But I had bought this entire series, and at least the first one, maybe the second one, in one go, before I'd even read anything by her. So, maybe not the smartest decision, but her books are so pretty. But I do very much need to read her stuff instead of just collecting them. Another author that I need to stop collecting and start reading, although I've kind of started doing that, is Johanna Lindsey. She is a historical romance author who has written one of my favorite series that I'm binging right now, and that is the Mallory series. And it's basically like the Bridgertons. It just follows one giant family, except there's like 12 books. So like this is just the first 5 of that series, and then I've also got like at least 13 other books by Johanna Lindsey that's not part of the Mallory series. I just keep collecting her books because she was the very first historical romance author that I ever read, and I just have like a special tie to her. And also, like, from what I've read in the Mallory series, she's still pretty good. So it's like, I was worried that like nostalgia was gonna win as far as like, is it actually a good author for me? But I tend to really like her stuff. So I'm not holding up everything because like we would be here forever. I'm not even kidding you when I say I think I've got 20 to 25 books total from her. So I need to actually start reading. Now I have really started diving into the Mallory series. I have 2 more books of the first 6 that I really, really want to read this year. So I've only got 2 more that I really need to read. But then I have the second half of the series and then other things by this author. So like, the problem is my used bookstore likes to give her books away almost for like 25 cents, sometimes even 10 cents. And Pretty Covers and I, as I've stated, are friends but also enemies because I always spend my money on Pretty Covers. And that's an issue. So yes, Johanna Lindsey, an author that I really need to stop collecting and start reading. Another author that I need to stop collecting and start reading is Agatha Christie, and this isn't even all of them. There's still one more that I don't know what I did with it. And I think I've read a total of 4 books by her at this point, and I have a lot. I just keep collecting them because I think her editions are so pretty. My arms hurt. This is ridiculous. I found it. Okay, so the 4 that I have read are Murder on the Orient Express. That was the very first book that I ever picked up from Agatha Christie. I also did Death on the Nile. And then last year I did Halloween Party, as well as And Then There Were None. So these are the 4 that I've actually read, but that still leaves like 11 books, which that still leaves these 11 books. Plus I didn't even pick up the one that's technically not an Agatha Christie book. It was written by somebody else after Agatha Christie, but it got the like yes from her family, so like it's considered an Agatha Christie book. I don't know, but there's these, and I still want to collect more because like I only have 1 Miss Marple book, and I feel like she's going to be a character I really enjoy. So I have many a book, and I need to read them. So maybe an Agatha Christie vlog this fall. Let me know if you're interested. Try to get through some of these. Oh my gosh. Okay, this one might be the most embarrassing out of all of, well, no, I have a lot of Johanna Lindsey books. I can at least hold these. The next author that I need to continue reading and stop just straight up buying is a middle grade author, and that is Sophie Anderson. Now, I will say I have read 2 of the 4 books. So her very first book was The House with the Chicken Legs, which I have read, as well as her second book, which is The Girl Who Speaks Bear. The 2 I have not read are The Castle with Tangled Magic, and then her most recent one that came out this year, The Thief Who Sang Storms. So I have like a love-hate relationship because like when I read The House with the Chicken Legs, I was so confused as to what was going on. I wasn't really enjoying it, but I picked it up because these covers are absolutely stunning, and I love the UK covers, and I've heard good things. Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin raved about it, and I was like, okay. So I read it, and like, it was okay. I don't really know. But then I read The Girl Who Speaks Bear, and by that point, I kind of understood her narration style, and like, the story on the back of the book is only scratches the surface of what her books are actually about, and our main character goes through crazy character development by the end of the books. So now that I know her style, I could really enjoy The Girl Who Speaks Bear. So I'm so excited to continue with the 2 that I have, but out of all of them, I've only read half of her books, and she's gonna keep coming out with more, and I'm gonna keep reading them, or keep collecting them, because her editions are so pretty. I swear, the UK editions for middle grade are some of the most beautiful books I own. So yeah, I need to actually read her books. The problem with her books is because they release in the UK first, they don't come to the US as quickly. Like, I think The Girl Who Speaks Bear is now in the US, but I don't think The Castle of Tangled Magic is yet. And so there's no audiobook for me. And if there's no audiobook, it makes it less enjoyable for me, I want to say. But also, I just don't have the time to sit down and read these most times. So that's the major holdup, but yeah, I need to read her stuff because I've really enjoyed it. Like, I've come a long way from the first and the second book. From the first book not really liking it to the second book really loving it. I think I've kind of figured out her style now, and I just want to keep going. And knowing me, I'm just going to keep collecting them, so I need to read these. And the last author that I want to talk to you about today is Katee Robert. Now, I technically only own 2 of her books. However, I own way more on Kindle, although I am making my way through them. So like, I have So I deep dive hard, and I've gone down the rabbit hole to find out how many books she has, and I have a spreadsheet so I know what books of hers I have and haven't read. But I am a little over halfway through her Wicked Villain series, but I bought that entire series like without even blinking an eye. I hadn't even touched her books yet. I didn't even like buy the first one to see if I liked it. I bought the whole thing. And then her Dark Olympus series, I have the first 2 on Kindle as well as this one, but like then I got a physical copy because I'm on her Patreon. And so I've really enjoyed the first 2 of this one, and then she started a brand new series called A Deal with the Demon, and her first one is The Dragon's Bride, and I know she has at least 2, if not more, planned in this series, and she likes series. So like the Wicked Villain series only has, according to Goodreads, 4 planned right now, or like 1 more beyond this one planned, but I know she released something online that said like she's got up to like 10 or 12 books in the series planned. So we're going to be seeing a lot. Plus she's got all these other series that she is doing and has done that I'd like to read. So like she's an author that I like bulk buy on my Kindle, but I've only got 2 physical copies, but I bulk buy them on Kindle. I have so many of her books on Kindle. So I really need to read her as well. Although again, I am making my way through both the Dark Olympus and the Wicked Villain series, and I'm planning on reading this one later this year as well. So I have plans for her, but I literally bulk bought her like a multiple series because I just thought that I would like it without even blinking twice. So I'd like to continue because she has such a big backlog that I'd like to get to them all, but who knows at this point. But that's it. Those are the authors that I wanted to talk about with you today. There are so many more that I could have talked about on my shelves, but those are the main ones I wanted to focus on. So please let me know if you've read any of the authors that I've mentioned today and what your favorite book is to see if I should like prioritize one over the other. And based on what you say, maybe we'll make a vlog out of it. Who knows? I love me some themed vlogs. So leave all your thoughts down below. Or if you haven't read any but you want to comment something, maybe comment your author that you keep buying from, or, you know, keep adding to your TBR even though you've only read like 1 or 2 of their books. Or if you're not sure what to comment and you want to comment something, comment the like giant book stack emoji, because like I have so many. Like, did you see how many book stacks I had to hold up today? It was a lot. But if you like this video, and I very much hope that you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you would like to be part of this awesome growing family. I've also got all my social media down there as well as other fun bookish links, so don't forget to check all that out, and I will see you guys in my next video.